Hi everybody, it's Tammy with stampwithtammy.com, and I'm here with another less than 10-minute video. At least I hope. We'll see. Today we're going to use the Fern Flora Bundle. It has the stamp set, coordinating dies. I love all the leaf dies. But anyway, that's what we're going to make. Or what we're going to use. This is what we're going to make, and it opens up to be kind of a pop-up card. Let's see from the side. So let's get started. It's super easy. We're going to start with a piece of Golden Glow. I love this color, and I can see that I'm going to be using it a lot in the fall because it's a nice fall, almost a more mustardy color, for those of you that have been around for a while. Anyway, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then for the front of the card, we have a piece of the Moonlit Flora designer paper. It's so pretty. It's got gorgeous colors. Piece of basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. And then the DSP is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, and then for the inside of the card, we're going to do a piece of basic white, again 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to stamp on that first, and then for the top portion of the card, 5 1/4 by 4. You need your mechanism. It's 3 1/2 by 5 1/4, and it's scored at 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and 3. And don't worry about writing all this down. I do have a PDF on my blog post. You can download that. It has all the measurements. It doesn't really have instructions, but it does have all the measurements and then a link back to this video. You need a bunch of scraps of old olive, soft sea foam, and mossy meadow. And then for the front of the mechanism, you need a piece of basic white that is 3 3/8 by 2 1/8. And then this is 3 1/4 by 2. And that's the basics of the card. You'll need some basic white scraps for the sentiment and the butterfly. So let's get started with the stamping. We're going to use Golden Glow thing. I love these new pads, but boy, do I don't know how many times I've lifted the lid off and placed it over here, forgetting that the lid is where the stamp is, where the ink is, which is a very good thing, but I still forget. And then I'm also using old olive. So for the front, I'm going to make the sentiment, and we're going to use this frame. And I'm going to stamp that. And then I'm going to use the sentiment that says, "You're an amazing friend." And I'm stamping that in Golden Glow. And then I'm going to stamp, oh no, I lost it, one of the little, I call them butterflies. I'm pretty sure they're moths, but butterfly sounds better. Okay, and then we're going to cut these out at the Big Shot, or the cut and emboss machine. And then I'm going to use the really pretty shimmer brush in Golden Glow, and I'm going to color in my little moth. And color it in before you cut it out. It's kind of small to do it. But anyway, here are your cutouts. So we're going to place those over here so I don't lose them. And then we're going to stamp on the inside of our card. And you want to do this and put this down before you put the mechanism in. Okay, so we're going to use the Big Fern. Sorry, mine, if you get the new hybrid basic black, it stains your stamps, but it doesn't hurt them. So I'm going to stamp this right here. And then I'm just going to stamp it again before I re-ink it. Okay, let's add one over here. Put that aside. And then I have this really cute little leaf. And again in old olive. just like that. And then I'm going to stamp. I love this sentiment. You make the world a better place. Isn't that a nice thing to tell someone? I'm just going to put it down. You don't want to put it too close or too far at the top because your mechanism is going to be there. Then I'm just going to add a few of the little moths. You can stamp these wherever, doesn't matter. Okay, I think that's all the stamping. Put all my ink away. And so let's start assembling our card. So I'm going to use my ink or my glue applicator. I just put the liquid glue the green glue basically that we sell. And I put that in there because it's a little easier to use. Because I tend to put way too much glue. Okay, and then this is just going to go on the outside, centered. I really like, you don't have to do the white layer, but I like the way it makes the little white pieces in there kind of pop. Oh, let me cut some ribbon. We're going to use this beautiful Golden Glow ribbon. We just need a little piece. And I'm going to put this right here so I know where to put. I'm using tear and tape. Just makes it a little bit easier to, so I'm just going to put it where I'm going to put my sentiment. Pull that off. I'm just going to fold this in two, just like that. Oh, let's go ahead and then place that right there. And then I'm going to put, you could use dimensionals on here if you would rather. I kind of wanted it to be flat. So I'm just going to hold that in place for a second till the glue sets. Okay, and then for the inside, this really pretty piece. Look at the back, it's gorgeous too. It's really hard to decide. That just goes on the top. You need to put this and this stamped piece in before you do the mechanism. So there's the inside. Okay, so for the mechanism, you're going to want to just burnish all your folds. Last one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue this stuff on first. And again with just an 1/8 inch, but it really pulls out the white in there. And then this is just going to go right centered onto this piece. Okay. At this point you could glue on all your little leaves and stuff. So see, this is Mossy Meadow, Basic White, Soft Seafoam, and Old Olive. And so the Old Olive I'm going to cut off because I don't want it quite that tall. And then I'm just going to add some glue. Some glue to this one, the Mossy Meadow piece. And then the Soft Seafoam. You, of course, can do these however you'd like. There's some really pretty patterns with the Berry Burst also. And then this little piece, this little guy's a little bit harder to glue. And sometimes I just lay a block on it just to let the glue dry a little. Okay, I'm gonna wait and put on my little butterfly. Okay, so now we want to fold this so that it makes a square. So all we're gonna do is fold it at the second score line in half. I mean, where the fold lines are, not really in half. Then just add glue and then fold this piece back on itself. Hold that for a second. Okay, so there's your mechanism. And then to glue it on here, we're going to put glue on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then just center it up against, can you guys see? There's a little bit of a shadow. Almost up to the score line. Just leave just a little bit of a space. Okay, and then hold that. And you can see how it's going to fold. And so now I'm just going to add glue to the to this piece here. And then close your card and hold it. Put my glue away so it doesn't dry. And then it opens. So now I'm going to add my little butterfly with just a Stampin' Dimensional. I use the mini ones, they're just easier to get on here. I think the big ones would fit. And then I'm just going to put it right here. And then on the front, I wanted to add some of, I'll show you the, well, I don't have very many left, but these are the dewdrops that come with the suite, and they're beautiful. But I wanted to use some Golden Glow dots, and so I'm just going to use the in color dots. They're really pretty too. These are flatter, so they don't add a lot of bulk to your card. I'm just going to use a small one and another small one over here. So there you go. Can you guys see it? It's kind of hard to do when it's, I'll show you there. There you have it. If you have any questions, please leave me a message. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I would love it. And you guys have a great day. And sorry I went over a little bit over 10 minutes, but I think it's worth it. See you later.